We are nearly 2 weeks into 2021, and many of you may not be doing so well with your New Year's resolutions, but don't give up yet. Dr. Carol from Wright State University is here via Zoom with some tips to help you reach your goals. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Great. I want to make sure I hit those resolutions. So where should we start? We have to make sure it's something that we really want, right?
Right. You know, there's a lot of things that we think we want, but we're not really committed to. And it could be like our parents tell us, oh, you need a new job, or you need to go back to school, or you need to lose weight, or whatever it is. But maybe it's not what you really want. And so it's really hard to accomplish anything even when you want it, but you have to be really committed to it. And so I always say there's a difference between being interested in doing something and being committed to it. You know, when you're committed, there's like nothing that can stop you. But when you're interested, you're like, well, that would be a good idea, but I hope it happens. But if it doesn't, no big deal. But
yeah, that
if you have that attitude, you're not going to accomplish your goals.
Right. I like that way. It's a good way to look at it. And then we also have to make sure these resolutions are reasonable as well.
Right. I mean, again, you might want to lose 100 pounds in 2 weeks or a month, but it's probably not that realistic. Or you might want to double your salary with a new job. And, it could be realistic, but, most people don't do that. So, I'm not saying don't set high goals, but don't set them unreasonably high, because then that'll just frustrate you. And when you get frustrated, you're going to give up. So, make sure that it's specific, it's reasonable, and that you really think that it is achievable. Because if you don't believe it, you probably will give up on it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Not a good idea to give up. Not in 2021.
No.
Another way that we can make it a little easier for ourselves is to have a plan.
Yeah, lots of times, some people just aren't planners in general, but, let's say you wanted to plan a trip to California and you don't have a GPS with you, you don't have a map, you're just going to follow the sun and hope you get there. It sounds like a great idea in the moment, but then when you're like lost in the mountains, you're like, oh gosh, I don't know where I'm going. So it's really no different with any kind of plan, especially a New Year's resolution. You have to, maybe set certain smaller goals for yourself and then maybe put them on a calendar. And so, hold yourself accountable. And, if you don't have it written down, you're just kind of wandering, and that doesn't really get you anywhere, and you'll probably give up.
Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely hitting smaller goals is easier than that giant one. And it's also not going to be easy. We have to understand that as well.
Right. Any change of any habit that we have is difficult. I don't care if you want to quit smoking or if you want to go back to school. Any habit, eating habits, we're all creatures of habits. And so research really says that it takes at least 21 days, probably more, at least in my opinion, to try to change your brain with a new behavior. So, if you remove one behavior, such as smoking or eating badly, you have to replace it with another behavior. And so it really takes time to rewire your brain into the new behavior. And some research say about 21 days. I think it's probably more, just my own personal opinion. But, just realize it's not going to be easy, but stick with it for a period of time, and then the new habit will become easier for you.
Okay, great to know. Cut yourself some slack. Also, you want to make sure you reward yourself along the way. Thank you so much, Dr. Carol. Thanks for chatting with us today and helping us out with our goals.
Of course.